Check it out, we're at the zoo, and guess what? The Reptile Zoo's having babies. Woohoo! Look at the babies coming out. Here we go. Let's zoom in a little bit. There comes a baby. She's pumping out the last ones. We missed them, unfortunately, but we're getting them now. Getting the last couple. Now these are hypo Central American, so these are dwarf boas, and been waiting for her to have her babies. We bred her actually right in that cage. That's kind of a surprise. Pretty cool it is. She's just pushing out. Looks like one of her last babies. At least we didn't totally miss out on it. We had a funny thing is we had another a Colombian rainbow in the cage next to it had babies just a month ago. So a couple lucky cages there. So we're gonna go in there and rescue those guys. Make sure they all get their head out of the sacks. Good looking little hypos. One slug back there in the corner. Here comes the last one. Come on, we don't want a slug, we want a baby. Did it come out? Maybe she's just trying, maybe she gave birth to everything and she's just trying to make sure she's having contractions still. Gee whiz, that's pretty sad. I turned my head long enough to wonder if I missed something. So, okay, well, looks like she's done there. We'll see if any more come. Woohoo! Babies at the Reptile Zoo! In the last few thousand, last 10,000 eggs. So what we got here is two clutches of eggs. And so now, what we got here, as you can see, just for everybody, just to prelim everybody, you see when they cut the blood vessels and they bleed. So you can see the blood coming out there. When I cut them with a razor blade, they're going to bleed too. Don't be worried. Everything will be fine.
They did this on their own. So
right.
All kinds of,
that on their own?
all this on their own.
This is on their own. So what we got here is a Jampia tiger, pet for albino, bred to a snow. Now that means that genetically speaking, these snakes, the next generation will produce a snake that we call snow, which actually means it has no red pigment. It's called anery.
Jampia is a dwarf, so it's a smaller form of retic.
Correct. So it'll be a smaller form of retic. This here is a very big retic actually. This particular line genetically is from a large line of snakes. And when I mean large line is like literally in size. One of these snakes here got to be probably 175 pounds practically by accident in 2.5 years. We had to put them on a diet to even get them to breed. They wanted to be really large. And I know it's politically correct to just call them big boned, but they're actually larger too. What are we going to get? So what's our percentage? Should be roughly over there, 50-50?
Well, we should get 50% albinos, 50% of those should be tigers, which actually means 25% of them should be albino tigers. And the other half should be albinos and normals, but they'll all be purple phase, which is this kind of
Now the only reason why we know they should all be purple phase is because this particular female we bred before, correct? And so we know she isn't het snow, because she was a possible het snow, but she came from a purple line. So a purple line will never have anything but a purple baby unless you breed it to a white one. That's a lot of genetics for some of you guys here. All you want to see is babies born.
It lacks all dark melanin, and it's a receptive gene.
And where did you learn that?
I learned it from learning and reading books.
How many of my YouTube videos have you watched?
Every single one of them, and probably 3 times.
Only 3 times?
Probably more than
And he is correct, that is right. Now these snakes here are actually kind of weird gene. They're caramel albino, and for some reason, these snakes hatch out white. And then if we believe it to be a protein that's related to the temperature, and what ends up happening is when they get older and they have cool days, of course they're incubated at 90, we can't change that. So Tim's going to start cutting, I'm going to start cutting.
Now, if you see this snake back here, she's an albino too, but she is a different phase of albino, so she's all white. This is called a T-positive albino.
Wait, yeah, white face.
Now this looks like a white face, but this will actually turn purple. So there's what we're looking for, and this is going to be approximately 50%. So there's what we're looking for, so we're going to go ahead and start cutting. You guys can watch. You can ask questions as we go if you like.
So in this clutch here, what we're looking for in this clutch is an albino tiger. This is the tiger gene. Quite a bit different than normally lacking melanism. Correct?
Would this be
And I didn't realize this. So you see the line? What a tiger is a snake that adjusts the pattern. A super tiger is when it does it twice on top of each other. So that's a super form of that. And now, one good question would be, what are we cutting the eggs for? I'll tell you why we're cutting the eggs. They are born with an egg tooth. Now, we're working with a lot of genetics and a lot of different things, so sometimes, even if we didn't, the call of the wild would be for a snake that didn't have an egg tooth would actually perish in the egg, because it would just try to cut itself out, would be unable, and it would just drown in the egg. I don't know if you guys noticed, these aren't wild-looking snakes. These are actually captive-born morphs. We don't want to cull them, and if they don't have an egg tooth, we're good with that. So we try to help them out. A lot of people freak out on the internet and think we're damaging them or harming them. We have no interest in harming them. We want everyone to make it, and we'd like to have everyone have a good shot at it all. If you have hand sanitizer, you can feel that the eggs are actually soft and they're not hard. It's kind of interesting, you can feel it. So if you want to do it, just go ahead and learn it that way. Right here is a super tiger albino. So we got a super tiger caramel albino. How big do they grow and how fast? It really depends completely on how much you feed them. And then the genetics also. Like some of these snakes, when I made a comment earlier, it accidentally got 200 pounds really fast. Not really. We feed our snakes a lot, but some of them have the ability to grow quicker than others from genetics.
Let's see what we got.
And we can actually, you can actually keep a mainland retic, maybe even as small as 5 or 6 feet.
SD tiger het snows. There you got a purple tiger het snow. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Actually, some of them actually look wild.
That's because they're tigers.
What's next?
That's pretty cool. Normal, is that the other 20?
About 24 hours.
Oh, 24 hours.
They still have to absorb their yolk sac.
Oh, I see. I thought they're going to start going. So you're going to take 24 hours before...
Jay, it looks like your odds are a little poor over there. You need to cut some more caramels.
Caramel.
Okay.
Caramel, I don't know.
It's about half-half. It takes years and years to think out the breeding, feed up the snakes, get all those genetics together. But when it comes down to it, the person who really made the snake is the one who opened up the egg.
That's why Tim stole those clutch eggs from me.
Do you guys keep all of them?
No, we sell them.
We keep some for our own genetics, and the rest of them will be for sale. Good looking clutch. Look at this. I love the Superdorf influence on the tiger pattern. Tight, nice little tiger.
Okay, guys,